Hi, how are you? I've brought myself to the park today because it was requested of me that I re-record the topic that I sent to my email list. Not that many people watch those videos, so I'm considering switching out how I do those. But from some of the people that did watch it, they asked me to please record the topic and put it out publicly. And I really appreciate that support. So it's interesting because I brought myself to the park, which is common, but I brought myself to a place where I'm not used to recording. And I've brought myself here to record something that I'm not used to recording in a place where I'm not used to recording. So this might work out. It also might not. Here's the thing. We are in the middle of, or we just began another passage. Now, because I'm very new to all of this terminology, I often use very simplified terms because I'm not a scientist, I'm not an astrologer, I'm not certified in anything but yoga teaching, so I'm no expert in any of this, but I'm very energy sensitive, and over the past few years I have been working directly on that while I'm also a yoga guide. So while working on my own energy sensitivity and immediately mixing in with the collective by being a yoga guide, I have found my own unique way of expressing and kind of working with the energy that we have been given as a group. What does that mean? That means that I have a special way to tap into what the collective is feeling and doing without getting sucked in. That is part of my gift of being an empath, is that I used to be sucked in and now I'm not. And there are, of course, times where I still work on that. Everyone does. No matter what anybody says, there's always more. There's always more. So that being said, we are about to set in on the 11:11 passage. The 11:11 passage, the energy actually started a few days ago. If you're light sensitive, energy sensitive, empath, any of that, you might be feeling very spacey, you might be feeling high, you might be feeling a little bit different. This energy is very full. It's very full bodied, and excuse me, and it's readying you for the intensity that is going to come. There will be an influx, a big one, from, I don't know, the 13th to the 16th or 17th or 14th to the 8th. I don't know the dates. I'm not the greatest at this number thing, which is why 11:11 and 12:12 are sticking in my head. Besides the fact that they're angel numbers, they pack a punch. And this one that's coming up on Monday, it's going to be a big deal, and we're being readied for it right now. The Schumann resonance, everything. The Schumann resonance hasn't gone down below 40 something in a month or something like that, and it's supposed to be at 7.83. Okay, again, I'm no scientist, but 40 something and 7 is a big difference. Okay, so here's the thing. In the next month or so, I mean, these two passages, I don't know what's going on in December yet because I'm still dealing with or understanding what's coming up in the few days. So I am not yet as ahead as some of these other folks are. And but just being a little bit, understanding just a little bit is fine with me for now. I'm very happy that I can. So what is happening is we're being asked to understand what this past year has been about. Now, I don't know what's going on in your world, but in my world, everyone around me is having identity stuff. Now, they may not be walking around going, I am choosing to address my identity, but the lessons that are coming up, the jobs that they're quitting or the jobs that they're gaining, the sun, okay, not the sun, the light, anyhow. the jobs they're gaining, the jobs they're losing, the jobs they're choosing, the people they're gaining and losing, the people they're talking to, all of that stuff. This is all about identity, and not to mention all the gender stuff that's been up all year long. The political stuff, this is all identity, identity, identity. It's been rough. And if you haven't yet felt this, the next end of year and into the first couple moons of 2020, you're gonna be dealt this, I think. If you're a sensitive person and you haven't been there yet, here it comes. The great news is that once you come to terms with who you are and why you're here on this planet, if this spiritual stuff is part of your world, otherwise why are you watching this? Once you come to terms with who you are, your identity for you, for your inside, the truth of 2020, which is going to be the year of truth, will be intense but workable almost immediately. If you choose to not work on that right now, no big deal. You know, maybe you don't want to work on it right now. No big deal. The thing that will happen is that the questions of truth for the next year are going to be rampant. Excuse me, the wind is blowing something at me. The wind is blowing something at me. The questions will be rampant. You will have so many to choose from around every single decision that it might be chaotic, right? Truth doesn't necessarily mean easy. Truth can be very, very hard. It can be a lot of work. And we're given this opportunity now to take a look at it. How do I know that? Because it's coming out already. If you're seeing this message, it's very possible that you need to work a little bit on identity, come to terms with who you are and why you're here, and what you can offer, whether it's offering to yourself, which you need to do first, and or to people around you, if you feel comfortable doing that. You might have to work double time. And what does that even mean? That means paying attention, being aware. That doesn't mean get 50 jobs. That means come to terms with your integration of ego and all of that kind of stuff. They're all related. All of this stuff is related. The thing is we're becoming, the symbols and the signs are coming in at a rate now where if we choose to tap in, we are welcomed very quickly. While the old paradigm, we would have been, let's just say, tested, right? We've learned that these tests aren't necessarily, you don't have to look at them like a test. I mean, sure, everything is a lesson. You can benefit from everything. All of the things that you think are not good, chances are really, really are very, very good. It's just hard and it doesn't feel good to work on at the time. So we're in this big zone of identity, but it might come in on different levels. It might be how you offer yourself to yourself, because in order to really fulfill the year of truth, which is coming, you have to have somewhere where you work from. And that somewhere is the heart, right? So in order to get there, you have to take some time. And when we're given these big energy bursts, which is basically what this is, it is an opportunity to really see what's being pointed at. How are we reacting? How are we reacting? What are we doing? What are we saying? What are we eating? What are we drinking? Oh my gosh, you better be drinking a ton of water, especially for the next few weeks. So I looked at the calendar and it looks like 2 weeks from about yesterday or the day before. So today's a Friday, whatever number it is, I don't remember, but that's okay. So we have about 2 weeks where this is going to be a little bit of rock and roll. And I didn't realize people could be up there. Okay. And if you could take the time to drop in, and not in a way where anybody tells you to do it. Like, go do something for yourself that is so for yourself that people go, why would you do that? I mean, that seems kind of odd to say, but I don't know what your life is like. Maybe it's time for you to go take a run or something like that. My foot is falling asleep. Maybe it's time for you to go take a yoga class. Now, I'm not just saying that because I'm a yoga teacher. I'm saying it might be time for you to get into the body and practice attunement and trying to get this embodiment I can't say that word. Get this embodiment thing going for you, right? This is all opportunities. This is the high vibe tribe. We are not all happy-go-lucky all the time. We just understand that our inner worth, our happiness, our, that love inside, it is not dependent on any outside circumstances, like at all. And as soon as we come to terms with that via dropping into our heart self, right, our identity, loving ourself, then anytime someone questions why we do something or who we are to think that we could do something like that, or whatever it is, that people are going to come around next year and they're going to question that truth. You're going to question your truth. So it's really important that you get in there. Get in there. What is your stuff? What do you really need to work on? Or are you looking for problems all the time so that you can have more to work on? This isn't the way we do it. This isn't the way the empaths roll. If you're part of the high vibe tribe, if you are part of this and you don't quite understand yet, the first thing you want to do is stop looking for problems. I mean, obviously, if you're in a situation where you're being abused in some way, like, no, you need to get out and work on that, obviously, before any of the things that I say. But these things that I'm saying is under the assumption that the people listening, you are not in some drastic circumstance. If you're in a drastic circumstance, you need to do that first. Please do that first. Outside of that, it's time to come in to the heart and to really understand why we're here on this planet. If you've been wondering that, yeah, I have this thing that I do. I have, it's called Light Beings at Large, and I do it. It's on my YouTube channel. It's actually probably going to end up on my Instagram too, because they're shorter than the 15-minute limit. There's also an email. You can email. I haven't checked them yet, but I'm going to. lightbeingsatlarge@gmail.com. I'll connect you with books, people, sound. Sound is a huge thing right now. We are got to get it together. We got to get it together. We have this next month and a half to really hone in on loving and getting into where we are now, where we are in location and in our heart, so that we can help as many people as possible. Now, I'm recording this knowing that I'm still working on this, okay? I'm still working on this too. I record these things because my allies ask me to. And any allies, any willing hearts, okay? Before I keep rambling, I'm just gotta go. Thank you for listening. Let's move from identity into truth and use the 11:11 and 12:12 passages to help us out.